Hello and welcome back to the She Gallery Show. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with us, Cujo.
Man, thanks for having me.
And thank you for being with us tonight live. Please remember that you can join the conversation at any time throughout the segment by calling us at 312-738-1060. Again, that phone number can be found on the bottom of the screen throughout the segment. And we have a very special guest here today. We have Joe Nelson, right? And he go by the name of Cujodah. And there is a story behind Cujo. And many of you know who Snoopy is. Joe Coo. We're taking it way back.
Yeah.
And from there, that's where your name rooted. Do you want to talk to us a little bit more about your name and your background?
When I was a wee pup, my mom used to get me all those Snoopy shirts that said Joe Cool, and that kind of started, and I wore them up until high school. And then by the time I got to high school, a couple of good friends took the Joe Cool and turned it into Cool Joe, which was kind of like a play on words, which was like a play on words with the dog from the Stephen King book. So, you know, I'm not very vicious, but yeah. But that's where the name came from. And Da was an extension that, you know, the 3-letter crew, my crew from high school was the Da. It was the destroying all heroes, dope as H.E hockey sticks. Yeah, so that's where that came from. We're not supposed to curse on here, so I'm being good.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we're talking about Da, old crew from high school. So here we have a grassroots artist, Joe Coo, and I think it's really interesting how many of these graffiti artists gain their name. A lot of it comes from, our friends were messing around, or my friend, or my cousin. Not that long ago, we had Pango on the show, another innovating graffiti artist for style and design, and that came from like people making fun of him for the way that he walked. Oh, you walk like a little penguin. And then the game came out, and Pango, and here it is, and how these little games stick. You know, all these memories from being a child. And you grew up in the south side of Chicago. You want to talk to us a little bit about your growing up and how you ended up going to school in the north side?
Yeah, so I grew up in Inglewood. You know, it's home. It's still home. But I'm currently in Bronzeville. But like growing up over there, it's, you know, it's a little rough. And I didn't want to, you know, I got into a few fights. And there's a lot of trouble out there, you know. And my mom was on my back a little bit, just, you know, because she wanted me to do good in life and be somebody. So I ended up getting into art real heavy as a youngin'. And, man, I love comic books and cartoons, you know, still do. And, you know, that's where my heart was at. And, you know, I was heavy into like art and drawing and stuff at a real young age. So she wanted me to do something different, and I wanted to do something different. So I decided to go to high school far away from where I lived and ended up on the north side. So I went to a couple schools. I looked at a couple schools, and Lakeview was like, it was awesome. The moment I walked up and, you know, started to walk into the school and saw like the mosaics on the outside and met Miriam, who's Miriam Sokoloff, who, if anybody knows her, knows she is like the queen mother of like art in like Chicago. She's like the beast. Like she's amazing. Still love that lady. She's like a mother to me. Yeah, and that, you know, that ride from the north side to the south side, you know, which took like forever.
You had to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, I had to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. It was dark when I woke up and dark when I got back home. Like, it was crazy. Like, that alone and that journey, and don't take the bus. Oh, my God. That journey, like, I saw so much graph on the way there, like on the green line, on the red line. Like, that like sparked so much in me. Like it just, it just turned me on, man. And it's just like I was hooked ever since. You know, I'm I enjoyed like the art of bombing, but my roots are like deep in like comic books and like cartoons and stuff, and that's why everything's like you look at my archive, it's a little random. I mean, because I like so much, I like there's a range of it because you can go from like Rick and Morty to like Fist of the North Star. It's like a lot in between there, so. My style's a little different. I'm trying to put it more in the box now, just so I can be a little more marketable. But yeah, it's I like the range. I like diversity. I like being able to like play in different arenas if you want to. So
that's beautiful. So we'll come back and visit some more of his work in just a moment. So we're talking about you're growing up in Inglewood, you're in this neighborhood, and you know one thing, you want to get out of that neighborhood. And you know that you want to go study up north so that you can get out of that neighborhood. And some of this influence came from your road trips growing up with your father to Florida. You knew that you can travel, and did that liberate you a little bit? Did that like show you that maybe you had options, that you could get out of the neighborhood?
Just being able to get out of not even get out. Let me rephrase that. Just being able to see something different opens your eyes.
Okay.
Just that exposure. It opens your eyes, and with age and maturity, like you learn a little bit more. Cause like even now, like I fought hard to get out the hood, and ended up coming back. And this is like years of a progression of like not just like leaving. The South Side to go to the North Side to go to school, but like I lived in Seattle, I lived in San Diego, like I wanted to see what the world had to offer. So, it wasn't just about Inglewood in particular, because even though I'm not there, I'm there a lot now. Just popping in and out. I got good friends there. People that I love there. So, and like I said, early on, it's still home. And I love the South Side dearly. I spent a lot of time on the North Side and the West Side, but like, South Side is home, man.
I hear you. I am a Southsider. I do understand. And so while you were growing up, you were also very heavily influenced, aside from like being enlightened by these murals that you were sightseeing. You also got into bombing yourself, and you got very much into hip hop during the 90s. The music, everything was a completely different force for you. And then you got into graffiti yourself. And then you got caught at some point, and you did some community service, but you just stopped. And you went back to your original roots for digital design, right? You went to school, you went to animation. And something that, like, we were just mentioning, and I feel like we've had this conversation with so many of our guests, is that when we go to school to study a topic, sometimes these topics or these certifications no longer exists once we graduate. Yeah. Just last week we had Allison Peters Quinn, the curator for the Hyde Park Art Center. She was my curating teacher, and we mentioned how She Gallery applied for this visual art certification program, or I did before She Gallery existed, and I was never led into this program. Never got the certification, but I took all of the classes, so I learned how to read, and I learned how to, write in art interviews, writing, curating, business for the arts. So that's what I studied, but I never got that certification.
Yeah.
And last week, Allison comes here, and she says that certification no longer exists. And here we are today, 6 years later, still doing what we're doing. And that happened to you. You went to school and you got your animation, what you went for, it got canceled.
Yeah.
But
like,
you applied all of that.
It's weird because like I never thought I'd be in design. And I ended up taking all the prerequisite classes for animation, which most of them are like desktop publishing. So like I ended up knowing how to design on accident, and it's
accident, no such thing.
On accident, like God gave it to me and I took it. But it's
That's what you do.
I promise, like it was not on purpose, but it ended up being one of the things that fed me. Like it put food on the table so many times that I'm like, yo, I can't ignore this. Like, like people say, hey, I need a business card. I need, and I design probably more than I draw and paint. Probably a lot more than I draw and paint. But my heart is like in just being creative in general. So I use them both. I like fuse them as much as I possibly can, just so you can have that outlet and like mix and match and like build things. It's all construction at the end of the day.
And something really interesting also is that not only that this experience, right? You went through this experience where you studied and you went through all of this, and then this got canceled. That can be really disheartening to people. That can be really discouraging.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that I went to school with,
right,
and they're not
exactly.
they're not working in the profession right now. They're not doing what they spent all that money to go to school for. And I think about that too with my son. It's like yo, I don't want to just drop a couple cars in the ether just so you can go to school and decide like that's not what I want to do. So there's a lot. Don't get me wrong. I got some great teachers. Shout out to Zarfa Lehrman and the Science Institute. Like, I got some great teachers and some good mentors.
Teachers
like,
rock.
Man, I just want just the focus needs to be there. Don't waste time, don't waste money, don't waste energy doing things that you don't want to be doing, or that's not going to help you at the end of the day. And I know sometimes you have to go the wrong path to find the right path, but just that focus is important.
That focus is important. So, talking about these classes, how often this has happened, where people are trying to study something, we're paying all this money, all this tuition, and these classes no longer exist or no longer serving us. What do you think about the education system with some of these experiences?
I mean, there's always room for improvement, right? I'm not the expert on it. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I just think there should be a focus. Like, it should definitely be a focus, and not necessarily from them, but from us more so. Because like we need to like figure out. That's the hard part, is just figuring out what it is that you want to do, right? Because you can do anything. If you put your mind to it, but is anything good for you? Is
anything good for you? So what was it for you that allowed you to continue, that you said, well, okay, that doesn't exist anymore, but I'm going to keep going? What was it for you that allowed you to continue to do, to this day, what you actually went to school for, even though the program became obsolete?
So I'm still not directly in the arena that I wanted to be in.
Okay.
And that's, I mean, I do a wee bit of animating. It's just my schedule doesn't like allow a lot of room for it right now. So there's not, and then I discovered the wall, which is magnificent. So if I can climb on a big wall and paint a big wall for a few days, like, I'll take that. Like, there's a certain zen state of mind that you get in when, like, you're challenged with this big blank slate. That a lot of cats don't want to tackle that. Like, they don't want to go up and crawl up that ladder and like stay up there for hours. I love it.
Yeah, we love your work too. So we mentioned about you had this experience where you were bombing, you got caught, so you let it go, and you went back to your roots with animation, and you actually took a break from painting for about 6 to 7 years.
Yeah.
And you wanted to get back, and you linked up with RK Static, and the rest has been history. So you guys actually had studied at the academy together, and now you were painting with them. So you've worked with them, and I think, can you see us? This is a T-shirt from one of the RK members that had been here with us before, Macer. What's up, Mace? So this is one of his T-shirt designs, and something very special. We've talked about graffiti, and we've talked about the importance that font comes with graffiti, that is what makes graffiti. It is the style within the font. And something very special about what Macer has done is that he has concentrated on the entire alphabet. So a lot of the graffiti writers will focus on their actual names, and he's focused on the entire graffiti alphabet. Now, I'm just going back to this T-shirt, so you can see very quickly the signs moving. And I want to go back to his work, and you could see the signs moving. Whether they have the fonts or not, you can see it within the style of the works. And there you can really see the influence from graffiti. Do you want to talk to us about your influence and your inspiration for your artwork?
Like I say, I'm all over the place. I watch a lot of movies, watch a lot of cartoons. Yeah, I do a little bit of graphic novels here and there. But you know, I definitely need like a sense of like culture. I've been doing like a lot of culturally inspired images and adding in like these like African like mud cloth textile patterns. They've been in a lot of my recent work. But like I said, the range is like crazy because some of these are like, it's fried chicken. It's like My Hero Academia. It's like...
What mediums are you working with here? Obviously, we're seeing spray paint. What other mediums do you work with that's, aside from the digital and the spray paint?
That's color pencil and marker, a lot of spray paint. There's
Here's
digital.
That ladder. The ladder that people are afraid to climb.
Yeah, some digital work. That's about it. Acrylic. I do a little bit of oils here and there, but those are like on some special projects that I need time with those sometimes because it's I like to push and pull, and oil is a lot of fun, but I'm usually moving a little quick, and I need to close it up quick. So I like acrylic. It's nice, dries fast, good blends.
It's beautiful. Now, something that I thought was really important when speaking with you, and even speaking with you right now, something that we're listening is this passion for freedom. You love freedom and you find it in your work, and you say you get bored with doing one kind of style. You want to continue to challenge yourself, and I think that's really important for personal growth as an artist and as a person. And to master the medium, which medium is it that you or would like to master? Or do you ever get to the point where you mastered, you always continue to evolve?
I am definitely a student of the craft, but I believe that I've mastered. I believe I've mastered them. But there's always room for improvement, right? Like I'm not beyond learning something new. But I respect both crafts. On one hand, like I'm behind the desk and at the computer. On the other hand, like I got some spray cans in a crate, and like I'm going at it. And they complement each other in an odd sort of way. It's like I feel like when I'm at my desk, I'm Bruce Wayne, like, and got my cans. I'm Batman, like it's they work together, and. Whereas I'm sitting down with some like rigid Helvetica, and I got a design within a grid and a set frame that all my text has to be in a certain order, and I got to watch my kerning and my leading, and all of that stuff's in one box, and then I got my box of crayons, and that's a whole different type of box, and I can scribble and I can let my paint drip and get messy, and like it's what I want to do, and it feels good, like yeah.
I want to show you. I want to focus on some of these paintings in particular. Can you guys see these? Look at this. I mean, like, wow, the style and the colors. So, and your use of colors, and you can see the freedom there. I see what you're saying, where it's not completely boxed up, but yet it's contained. And you use a lot of different colors. A lot of these colors pop. And some of your work shows some methodological work. The layering of the colors, it's very proper. And I see your focus on transition there. Do you want to talk to us a little bit more about your use of colors and mediums and these expressions in some of these images?
So, like, I love this piece too. It's like when you're looking at it, you have no idea what the size of it is, which is kind of which is kind of wild because that boy's pretty big. That's on a retaining wall for the Mississippi. Like it's a big one. But
The War for Love.
yeah. I just threw a title out there. It's it's this chick. She's going to war. Like she's cute. She got a little flaming head and her like skull on her arm. She's ready for battle.
And here we see you use the military pattern in a very unique way.
Yeah, she got a little camo skin under there.
Yeah, within the
Yeah,
skin.
and it's like I'm a sucker for the details. Like I love a lot of detail once you push those details in there. Down on like her little G-Shock watch, it's like little things, little things, and it's these are like little things that I picked up from like painting alongside like guys in my crew, man, because I feel like they're animals, man. I love my guys, man. Like, all of them. Max, Static, Gabe, Reese, the UB cousins. Man, dudes are like super dope. I mean, it's too many of us to mention, but like, if y'all out there, man, like thank you, because y'all pushed me to do more and go harder out here. Like, yeah.
What is it about Chicago do you think that is welcoming to this style of artwork? And how do you collect Inglewood, your roots to your work when you travel?
Man, that's a good one. Chicago as a whole is it's a huge melting pot of like cats out here. Like, it's so many different styles. And I'm a character dude. Like, I got letters, but I don't pull them out. You know what I'm saying? But that's like core. Like I was doing that before I started like going at like murals and like going in on faces like I do. But there's some dope letter dudes out here, like and dope bombers. Like there's so many different like assets to the game, and I think that's what Chicago brings. It's like diversity. Like, you can have Chinese food one day and then have some killer pizza the next day. Like that's Chicago, and like don't think you on top because like Chicago will show you different. And I think that's the same thing that Inglewood gives you. It's like it's like you're not that big. It's like you're cool, but you're not that big. Like I stay humble. I got a lot of love in my heart, and I thank Chicago for that. Like I keep my nose down and I work hard. Like, and that's what I want to be known for. Like, I put in work.
That's what's up. And that's something that we were talking about, how artists don't speak up a lot of times. And many times artists get taken advantage of, because we love what we're doing. And it's like being creative. And it's like, oh, well, you're just having fun. So it's not like worth or valued or anything. But art is on the forefront of everything. And it is extremely special and unique. And for that reason, it is extremely valuable. And it's really discouraging when we see these collectors sometimes that don't pride in the art and it's more of a business sense. And I think that's where we want to be very careful in protecting our artists. And that's something that we advocate for, and we encourage artists not to be taken advantage of. You should value your work, and even if it is, for you very personal, that is actually why it's valued higher. And congratulations, because you are a father now, and that has actually changed something for you. It has actually encouraged you to crank up your work. Some people may say, oh, I'm a father, I'm a mother, I don't have the time, I have to let go of my dreams. It's been the opposite for you. You've pushed yourself harder. You hadn't been in a show in many, many years, and here now you are coming up with a solo. You have a solo just this July in the South Loop here of Chicago. Many of you may remember when we worked with Kim Atwood from Elephant Room Gallery a couple of years ago, when we worked with the Creative Con, the Chicago Cultural Center, with Lake Effects, and we gave opportunity we taught people how to write a basic art exhibition with the opportunity of having their own art exhibition at Elephant Room, as long as you worked with the community, which is what we focus on. And somebody like Kim is another advocate, a very strong example of a gallery here in Chicago that advocates for suburban artists that may not otherwise have the opportunity. So we congratulate you, and we
Thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kim.
Yeah, what's up, Kim?
Yeah, I'm excited about having a show, an exhibit with Kim out there at the Elephant Room Gallery. Like I said, it's been a while since I've like released a body of work, so this is gonna be a good, nice adventure. Please come out. Please come out. We're gonna have info posted on the website, dates and all that stuff. But
Yeah, please remember that you
coming
can
very soon.
Yeah, you can always visit. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You can always visit our website at sharinghisenergygallery.net. That's sharinghisenergygallery.net. And please remember that you can always go on our website and visit any of our previous segments. You can go through all of the seasons and connect with all of our artists. You can reflect and remember that you can always connect with every single one of our artists, catch all of the seasons, and connect with our future guests as well. So you can connect find out what's going on as far as like art exhibitions or just to get involved. Another announcement that I want to remind everybody of is that we are partnering up with Green Card Veterans. Green Card Veterans was here just a few weeks ago, and we are partnering up with them for a fundraiser here with Miguel Perez, who was the second veteran that was deported that was brought back home, and this was made possible by Green Card Veterans, LULAC Council 5310, Tammy Duckworth, Chuy Garcia, and many other politicians that helped make this happen, we will be honoring on this day. So please save the date, April 17th. Join us. Stay in touch with all of our artists. Do you have any words of advice or encouragement that you would like to leave with the audience, with these artists that may feel lost or discouraged?
Man, don't quit your day job. No, seriously.
Just kidding, kinda.
No, yeah, kinda, not really. Man, Chicago teach you how to hustle, man. Like, you're not gonna do it just one, but you can. I mean, but if you do it with that just that one hustle, like, put everything you got into that one hustle, man, and be good at it. That's it. Like, get your all. Don't shortchange yourself. Don't shortchange yourself.
And stay true. Know your value.
Yeah.
And stay true to your roots always.
Is that a burrito?
That is the wrap-up button. Thank you again so much for being with us. We'll see you again next week.
Peace.